What's up, everyone? Adam Prime back again, and this week on the Blazing Toku Moviethon is Kamen Rider 01 Real Time. And this is the most recent movie I will be covering because it came out theatrically in December in Japan. I watched it this week. That's what I did. And overall, this feels like a decent continuation or epilogue of the story, but it could also have been a filler arc, I feel like. And I am going to go into spoilers, so if you haven't watched this movie, here's your chance to leave. If you want to keep going, whatever. And to go into a little bit of a summary, it's a fairly straightforward movie, even though I was confused at parts. Like, as I watched it, I was like, what? But by the time I was over, I was like, okay, I guess I get it. So it's pretty much like this new Eden Corporation with Kamen Rider Eden, and they're trying to take over the world. I guess their goal was to like lay down these smoke. Like there was it's like a terrorist group. Like they had like the smoke things that turned out to be nanobots, and it sent people into this weird matrix. I'm not quite sure how it works. And, you know, Arturo and the crew find out about it, are like, oh, we gotta take this down. We're gonna save the world again. And they do. That's the summary of the movie. It's as quick as I'm gonna give it. And let's get right into detail. You know? There's not a lot for me to say when I'm going to give a summary that short. To start out with, I want to talk about the first fight because it was pretty cool. It was like this black light fight pretty much. It's like they were in the dark, but they had like the black lights, and it was 02 and Eden. And Eden's suit's pretty neat. And it was just a pretty sweet fight as we saw kind of chaos happening in the background and everyone just being like, what's happening? And overall, there were moments that really confused me, like the whole opening bit and why he's fighting Eden kind of was really confusing. We find out later, like, Eden sent him a message and be like, Arturo, come to me. And Eden's, like, actual, like, name is, like, Is. Like, my sub said, like, his name was E-S. Like, Is. Or S. Like, I saw somebody say his name was S. I couldn't remember his real name, and I bet you I couldn't even pronounce it anyway, so moving on. And it was cool to see everyone else. Like, after that opening scene, you just kind of, you get Arturo getting chucked into, like, through, like, 5 buildings because Eden, I guess, is that powerful. And, like, you just see him end up, like, plopping in a car. He's like, ugh, and, like, just passes out, I guess. And you get to see what everyone else is doing. You see, like, Hirobi start jumping into the fray, and, like, Yua and Naki with Ames going in to go stop, like, the terrorist group that worked for Eden. And, like, that was kind of neat. And again, like, they had the smoke things that they turn out to be nanobots, I guess. Ooh, nanobots, which also, like, Eden's plot itself confused me, where it's just like, oh, so he's sending nanobot fog, but he's gonna, like, destroy the Earth, which he was trying to make, like, this key. Like, he was trying to make this Hellrise key, and it, like, could, like, launch a laser. Like, it didn't really explain. It's like he took after he defeated Arturo, he took the 02 key and shoved it into the Thousand Jacker. And it ended up making this key. I'm not quite sure how that works. It's a cool key. Like look at that. Got a, like, nice chrome globe. It's a neat key, and I guess it turns the world upside down. Woo! But it was a cool key and everything. It makes neat sounds, but like I don't know why it summons death lasers. Well, until Arturo uses it, because, you know, it's a movie. They need to make a movie form, which is Hell Rising Hopper, which I will get to that when we get to suits. But overall, like, I feel like some of the gang we really didn't get to see at all. I don't get why Naki and, oh my god, what's his name? The older Rocket brother. It's really bad because even throughout Zero One's like show run, I didn't even call him by his actual name. I just called him Thunderboy. I don't even know why. I just did. But, like, I don't know why he didn't help. Like, he gave Arturo his bike after he woke up from, like, being laying on the car. But, like, yeah, why? I don't know why they didn't transform at all, but that's whatever. And at some point, it feels like they just got rid of Jin and Fua. And, like, because they were fighting, like, these automated jets, I guess. And you see him and Jin taking them on. But then we just leave them and never come back until later. They're, like, having a group fight scene, and they're all just, like Jin and Fu are just like, hey, guys, we're here. And I'm just like, where did you guys go? What have you been doing? And I know I'm jumping around a lot, but it's like, I'm just kind of, that's kind of how the movie felt like for some of it, because it's just like, this would happen, and this would happen, and we cut to this person. And, like, again, it's like, overall, I want to say the movie, once it was done, I was like, oh, I get it. But, like, it just kept jumping around, and it was just weird. And then we have, like, Eden's, like, evil gang group, which, this was the most interesting part, that you find out, like, the, like, I don't even know what they were called, but, like, they were, like, drones, pretty much. Like, almost like, ride troopers from Fies. Like, of these grasshopper people, but, like, his generals were, like, these online avatars. Like you found out, like, they were, like, all schmucky and stuff. Like, the girl had, like, this baby, and, like, the baby's just crying as she's on her computer playing this pretty much, like, playing as a world terrorist avatar, and she has, like, a lollipop that she dipped in wine. That was the one that stuck out to me, but it's, like, I like that they all made, like, sexy, like, not anime, I guess, but, like, sexy avatars. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, that's how I want to look. And it's just like, okay. Like, that was just a weird twist where they're like, oh, all those people aren't real. They're actually, like, nanobot configurations. And, yeah, like, that's kind of what happened. You find out Eden's sympathetic because, like, he lost his fiancée, and he blames the Ark itself because they were experimenting, and the Ark took over the nanobots and it killed her. And it's just like they also add at the end. This is literally at the end of the movie where it's like, I feel like somebody forgot, unless they mentioned it earlier. But, like, this is the first time I remember picking up on it when I was watching it, where they're like, oh yeah, Eden wasn't experimenting on his fiance because he needed somebody to test on. It was to cure her condition. Like, they don't even specify. It's just a condition. I'm just like, okay, then? I guess. And then after they find that out, they're like, oh, Eden, we get you. We'll help you out. After, like, him and Arturo are fighting it after he's trying to get the death key back. He's like, no, Arturo, you can't use the death key. And Arturo's like, he's like, well, I'm gonna use the death key anyway. Also, we heard this sound a lot. Like, that was the sound we heard a lot in the thing. You hush. And, like, after that, like, here's also the cool thing. We find out, like, Arturo is now really protective of the new Izu, or as I'm gonna call her, Ease 2. I don't know why, I just want to call her Ease 2, because we had the first one. Alright, we find out Arturo is really protective of the new Izu. We see him rebuild at the end of the show, because he doesn't want this Izu to die, like the last one. And that was a really nice sentiment, it's like, I get it, when you lose somebody that important to you, you don't want to lose them again. And then you find out, like, I want to say it's the Zaya? Z? Or whatever the satellite's name is. I like calling it Zaya. Like, it sounds like Izu is sending this Izu messages, and, like, you find out, like, that she's trying to help Arturo through the satellite, and it it brings her back to life. Like, new Izu gets old Izu's memory because they touch foreheads. They're like, like near the end of the movie, and then one of the coolest things happens. Izu becomes 02. That's awesome. I may be jumping the gun a little bit because that happens right at the end, but the 01, 02 together fight scene was awesome. It was a really cool scene. I'm glad to see, like, they got Izu to get, like, pretty much her memories back. Like, where it's like, you knew what was going to happen. It's not like older shows where I feel like they keep characters gone. It's like, we'll give people what they want. We'll bring Izu back. And I think they did it pretty well, you know. They had it pretty much be like, oh, somehow she was stored in the satellite and got put into the new Izu. And pretty much after that, it's like I said, Hirobi's there. It's cool to see, like, Hirobi was like one of, I feel, out of all the other writers, he was the most proactive because he found, like, the Eden's base, where, like, the server of, like, for their Matrix is. And so it's like, I feel like he did the most, but he was pretty much like, oh, I found this thing. It looks like the server's controlled by a human brain. It's like, whose brain could that be? And it's like, oh, it's Eden's fiance. Woo. And pretty much find out that, like, well, I guess, well, the cover to you, after they find out, like, all the like generals for Eden's, like, terrorist groups are like avatars, like not real people. They pretty much find out where they're controlling them from their computers, and, you know, take them down. And that's fine. Like I said, it was they did what they needed to. But also, I guess this is so random because I really don't get the point of this whole scene. We get Guy Thouser interrogating a Zaya employee who I'm guessing is somehow part of, like, Eden's weird cult terrorist group. Like, and to the point where he literally is interrogating him, strips him naked. Like he has no clothes. There were several scenes where it was them interrogating this guy naked. I don't get the point. And, you know, like, that's how they get some of the information for the rest of the movie. It's so weird. It's like, why did he need to be naked? You could have done the gag where he had, like, the underwear. But no. You had to make him naked. Like, that's what Thouser did this movie. Like, he literally just helped them solve the mystery by interrogating a dude who works at the company he works for. And then gags ensued. Until the end, where he was just like, hey guys, let's all fight together. Like that's what Thouser did this movie. I don't understand why they needed to make him interrogate a naked person. I don't know. It was so weird. And that, again, like, that's pretty much it. Let's say, what am I forgetting? Oh yeah, the ending bit. Where you pretty much find them, like, they're like, Eden, we'll help you, you know, we'll help you. You need to not destroy the world. And he's just like, oh, okay, fine. I won't. Maybe I won't. I wasn't gonna let my terrorist people into my matrix anyway. And then you like find out, like, that, like, even, like, Eden himself is, like, like an AI of, like, a human. Like, he gave up his human body, in which we saw his gross mummified body, but he wasn't gonna let, like, his terrorist group into, like, his matrix that he made for his wife. And they found out about it, didn't get too happy, stole Eden's belt. Pretty much this new main guy decided, he's like, you know what, we're gonna destroy the world anyway. And, like, he was like, I'm gonna steal the key and we're gonna launch the death laser beam. And that's it. Like, that's where the go home is. And Arturo's like, what the hell? No, you're not doing this. And just, like, boom, hit. Like, I think that's where the 0102 fight was happening, and they just were like, no, you can't do it. And then at the end, Eden in his AI form, I guess he's not human. Blows up the building, and that's how the movie ends. They're like, we saved the day. I'm like, didn't this huge building explode? Okay, whatever. Everyone else is like, yeah, we did it. We saved the day. It's like, okay. Okay, fine. And I'm about to say, it was funny at the end because everyone was just like, oh man. And people were joking that Fuad didn't have a job. It was just like, okay. Alright, you gotta pick on a guy with no job. That's rude. And Thouser was like, hey, I could get you guys a job in my division of Zaya. And everyone's like, we're good. We still hate you. See you later. And that was great. And yeah, that was the movie. You know, it was pretty fun. I'm sorry if I was all over the place, but this movie was all over the place. It confused me at times. But I enjoyed it. To go on to the suits, I guess there really weren't that many. Like, to get over, like, I guess the repaint for the movie, or, like, 01's movie form, Hell Rising Hopper. I liked it. It was a repaint of, Shining Assault Hopper. And, like, Shining Assault Hopper, but it had this logo in the chest, like the little earth on this one. And yeah, it was nice. It was like that red and black, like the eyes were whited out, kind of like a dead locust. It was kind of cool. Eden's suit was really cool. Again, it was cool under the black light, and I guess going over Lucifer, where I'm like, did I actually even really mention him? Which is just, it's just if you took the Eden suit and made him more of a skeleton, like that's Eden. That's the Eden suit. Like, it was fine, and even like the grasshopper troopers that we had a bunch of, they were fine. I don't got much to say on them. They were okay. Like, but like I would say the suits were pretty good. Like, again, I really liked Eden's suit. Obviously, I like Lucifer's suit because it was just Eden's suit but done as a skeleton, and it looked really neat to have like that skeleton face. But that opening blacklight scene where it's like pretty much sold me being like, okay, that's actually a pretty cool suit, like seeing it glow and everything. And I'd say I don't know what else I could say about the other suits. Like, I'm not going to talk about, like, I'm not going to talk about Izu as 02. It's still a 02 suit. I really like 02's suit, but like, I'm not going to change any thoughts I have on it because Izu's wearing it. But that's it. This movie, I would recommend it if you liked 01 and you want more 01 content, but you're like, I don't think I'll watch the movie. I'd say watch it. Like, it's a fun movie. It's like a little over an hour long, yet like an hour 19, I think. And like, that was even the whole thing about the movie was like, it was an hour before the end of the Earth. But yeah, it was a fun time. You got to see all those characters again. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was fun to be back into that world again for me. So, something I would highly recommend, but it's something I'd recommend if you're a 01 fan. So, I guess that's it. Until next weekend, I guess I'll be getting ready for the next movie. Bye.